Hello. I already did a video on this book and I'm redoing it because I realized I actually said a different author's name, which is a mistake. Obviously, I'm still kind of a newbie, so we're doing it again. My cat's in the background. So this is a book by R A Salvatore. He is a very good author. I have read about 10 books that he has written for this series specifically. He does have other series outside of this one, but this one I've mainly read and I really enjoyed. So this particular book actually has the first 3 books in the Drizzt series. So it has Homeland, it has Exile, and it has Sojourn. In Homeland, it's where you get to hear the backstory of the main character, Drizzt, where he was born, what his family's like, the culture, the history. So he's a dark elf. They all live underground. They're all very mean. The women are in charge in this society. So the first book, Homeland, does a lot of background history and knowledge into what his world looks like and him growing up and what he goes through. And then Exile is the second book in the series. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember a whole lot about it. It's been a couple years, but these 3 initial books in the series I didn't really enjoy a whole lot. They're not badly written or anything like that. I almost felt like there wasn't enough action. I didn't have a very big connection with the character. However, once I got to book 4 in the series, I really loved that book, or I really liked that book. I loved it. I was able to have more of a connection to Drizzt, and part of that is because I knew the backstory and, his struggles growing up, but I definitely like the Icewind Dale series more, and that's the series after this first series. So you don't necessarily have to read these 3 books to go straight to the Icewind Dale series, but it's kind of recommended that way you know about Drizzt, his history, his backstory, how he became such a good fighter, how he got his companion pet, and all that jazz. So Homeland wasn't that bad. Exile, I really don't remember much of. And then Sojourn, which is the 3rd book in the series, it says, the sun blinded his eyes and burned his skin. But when Drizzt finally stepped out onto the world above, he found a no less unforgiving world staring back at him. If he's to make his way in the sunlit world of Sojourn, he'll need more than just his sword arm. He'll need a heart no one thought a drow could possess. So I do remember a little bit more of Sojourn because I found it interesting about how he comes up into the world and he is treated like the plague, basically. He ends up with one friend or one person who befriends him and teaches him stuff about the outside world and about life, kind of like a mentor. And it's so hard for him because when he lived down in the underworld with the other dark elves, he really didn't belong there. He doesn't have the same mentality as they do. And then he goes to the above world and everyone doesn't trust him. They're really not nice to him. And it's kind of sad in a way because after you read the first 2 books, he's got a good heart and he's a good character and a good elf, but nobody else knows this. So anyway, that's the first 3 books in the Drizzt series by R A Salvatore, who is a good author. Like I said, these aren't my favorite books in the series, but they are fairly enjoyable reads. I know my husband has actually read through these 2 or 3 times because he really enjoys them. I just prefer the Icewind Dale series more, and I will talk about that series or that book at a later date. I'm saying a lot. Anyway, so good book. If you end up getting this, it is like 1,000. It's like 900 to 1,000 pages. I'm sorry. It's 936 pages. That's still a pretty big book. So this is going to take you a long time, or a decent amount of time to read. You can get it on Kindle, like digital download. They have Audible versions of the books, and I actually do like the Audible versions, or the audiobooks. The guy who reads the story does a really good job at doing the voices and bringing the characters to life. That's how I've gone through 3 or 4 of the books. I actually listened to the audiobooks and I really enjoyed it. So if you're more of an audiobook person, that would be a good option for you. Again, this is a fantasy story, Forgotten Realms. Yeah, good books. All right, bye.